Hey y'all, it's Brooke and I just finished week 5 of ultra marathon training. Let's get into what I did this week. I was still in Colorado this training week. Obviously now I am back in my apartment in Texas. This was the week that I ended up crewing Tara Dower for her 4th place finish at Hard Rock 100. So let's look at what I did leading up to that race. Day 1, I did a run in Durango, Colorado. It was a trail run. It was a little harder than I thought it was gonna be.
I'm doing a lollipop trail and the whole stick of the lollipop has been uphill, but that means the whole way back will be downhill.
It was about 4 miles. It took me just under an hour. The views were beautiful. I was just so happy to be there near the mountains. The weather, oh my gosh, the weather compared to Dallas-Fort Worth, y'all, is insane. I really enjoyed the cool morning and the low humidity.
I feel like my breathing isn't really labored here anymore. Hold on, Bluebird. Describe your way. Anyways, I don't feel like my breathing is labored up here anymore, but my muscles just get fatigued so quickly. It's like immediate lactic acid burn, especially like any uphill at all. I'm talking like the babyest incline. They're like, no.
I did this run to test how my back was doing. If you remember from my previous videos, I've been having some SI joint pain. It was pretty good. It was a little tight after this run. Overall, I think we're improving. I think my exercises are helping. Day 2, I went on a little birding excursion, a little walk around Silverton. It was really beautiful. I saw a mountain bluebird, which was a lifer. So it was me just getting used to the Silverton altitude. It was my first morning there. If you don't know, Silverton is above 9,000 feet. And right now I'm currently sitting at 610. It was a big jump for me and I was trying to get used to it. And I say that, but then I went on like an 8-mile hike in a really popular spot near Silverton. Before I tell you where it is, because the pictures and videos are absolutely gorgeous, this place is getting really popular and is pretty overcrowded. So I just ask that for this place and really any other place that you ever visit, please practice leave no trace, pack out what you bring in so that we can keep these places beautiful for everyone. That being said, it was the Ice Lakes to Island Lake Trail. It was really hard. I think that I was still getting used to elevation. My muscles were tiring out really quickly and I was doing my best. It took us about 3 hours to do the whole trail and we gained almost 2,800 feet in elevation, even though you don't summit a peak. But I think you start around 10,000 feet and just go up from there to these beautiful crystal blue lakes. We actually met up there with Tara and JP Giblin, who were doing a training run up there, and we all got to like sit and have a little snack together. It was really fun. I saw so many marmots on this trail. I had been looking for marmots in Colorado since I've got there, and this trail definitely delivered them. The views on this trail are amazing, not even just at the lakes, but on your way up and down. You're going through like this valley. You just see mountains as far as you can, and there are very few places you can see that. It reminded me a lot of the Sierras when I was on the John Muir Trail. There's just mountains in every direction. I would definitely do this hike again. This trail was also really cool because it did overlap with the Hard Rock 100 trail a little bit, so we got to kind of see what the runners were gonna be running on. We eventually split off from their trail and I just look at where their markers are going and it was just like straight up this mountain. That section is called Grant Swamp Pass and it's historically like one of the toughest sections of the trail, and I was very thankful at that moment that we ourselves were not going up that. Day 3, I did another run. It was about 5 miles in the town of Silverton. It started off pretty okay. I was having a lot of trouble breathing. I actually could breathe better about 2 miles in. I did Rainbow Trail. Again, it's another kind of popular trail in the Silverton area. It's also pretty flat and easy, so if you're looking for like an easier trail in that area, I would say that this one doesn't have a lot of elevation. I was just looking for something that would be easier on my lungs and on my muscles, and this delivered. This was also part of the Hard Rock 100 trail. So in total, with the pieces I put together, I have done about 5 miles of the Hard Rock 100. So 5% of the course, which it's not a big deal, okay? I'm just a regular person. That run was pretty slow. It was at a 12:58 pace, just kind of cruising, getting some time on my feet, getting some runs in. Day 4, I took a rest day, and that's because my body was so tired. Here are some stats from my watch on my HRV status and my sleep. I had not been sleeping very well. I don't know like why my body does this, but when I'm at altitude and I'm not used to it yet, I just do not sleep very well. I had like 3 days in a row of no REM sleep, and that was just detrimental to my recovery and everything. So I took this day to rest, and also the next day we were going to be crewing for Tara. So we also took that time as a team to kind of just get ready for the next couple of days when she would be attempting her race. Days 5 and 6, I didn't do anything too physical because we were crewing Tara for the 100-miler. So it started at 6 a.m. Let's go, Tara! And me and the team were meeting her at different aid stations. The first day we met her at 4 different aid stations. First aid station we had to be there like just after 9 a.m. and the last aid station we were there after 11 p.m. So it was an all-day event that we were just driving around. So I got to spend the whole day driving through the most beautiful part of Colorado, in my opinion, on the $1 Million Highway through the San Juan Mountains. We actually had one aid station, the first one, it's called Chapman, that we had to hike up to. It was a hike-in only aid station. So I did get like over a 3-mile hike in that day up a little Jeep road. Day 6, we were still aiding Tara, watched her finish, so I didn't really do anything physical. And then day 7, I drove all the way back home to Texas, 14 hours from Silverton in one go. This week's total running miles was only 9. Hiking was 11. Not too bad considering I was on like a little vacation. I knew that I wasn't gonna get in much mileage this week and that I was just gonna do what I could. Because my main priority was getting Tara to the finish of that race. Despite not having a very productive physical week, I still think this experience was really important to my training. So it's so easy for us to physically train for these races. And I know you're like, Brooke, 31 miles is a lot, okay? But if you've ever run a half marathon or a marathon, or even like 10 miles at once, I truly believe that you can train yourself physically to run a 50K pretty easily if you start in pretty good shape. I've been involved in ultra marathons for a while. I haven't ran them, but I've watched people run them, and I think this was my 5th time crewing like an ultra event. So I have seen people go through it, okay? And I'm here to tell you that I believe 80% of these races are a mental race. The physicality of it is easy to obtain, but only the toughest can get through that mental game. For me this week, it was really about training my mentality. Watching an ultra marathon, crewing for an ultra marathon is a fantastic way to do that. I met a bunch of really great ultra runners. The Hard Rock 100 is one of the most popular ultra marathons in North America. Many famous ultra runners come and run this or just to watch. Not only did I get to watch my friend Tara, who is such an inspiration to me in the running world, do this race and help her get there, but I also got to meet other icons like Courtney Dauwalter. I didn't get to meet her, but I was in the same room with Courtney Dauwalter multiple times. If you don't know who that is, she's probably the best female ultra runner in the world. I got to meet Jeff Browning, Devin Yanko, Killian was there, and that is just so inspiring for my own race to see these people that I've been looking up to forever. And not only do you get to meet people that are really great runners, but you also get to watch other people run. Even if you aren't crewing or volunteering at an aid station, if you're a spectator, you can just watch people come into the aid station and see what they're carrying, see what they're eating, see how they're carrying their water. What are they using for electrolytes? How are they cooling down? What are they wearing when they go into the nighttime? How are their crews helping them? What are aid stations like? What do aid stations usually have? You get to see all of these things that if you've never ran one of these races before, you might not know what to expect. And so when you go watch one of these events, I think it can help you resolve some of those scary unknowns that you're not sure about when you're going into an ultra marathon, and kind of make you take a deep breath and be like, okay, that's not that bad, right? Like, okay, this is what the aid station is going to be like. Maybe this is how I should pace myself, yada, yada, yada. So I guess my recommendation is if you are signed up for an ultra marathon, you need some inspiration to make you feel more confident, to make you get excited about your race, go watch an event. If you can crew someone or you can volunteer at an aid station, I think that's best case scenario, but you can also just watch as a spectator. You can even like go on YouTube and watch people who vlogged their race. Hardrock actually had a live feed for basically the whole race, and it's on Mountain Outpost's page. I'll post it in the description below. I think that watching an ultra marathon and seeing the people achieve something that they've worked so hard for is really, really good for your mental training. I highly recommend watching people finish at least. That is like the most emotional part of the race. If you don't know much about Hardrock, not only do you have to qualify by running a qualifying 100+ miler race, but you also have to get through the very selective lottery. There were people this year who had been applying to run Hardrock for over a decade. 10 years in a row or more, these people were putting their name into that lottery, running qualifiers every year to get into that race. They finally got in. To watch people like that finish a race that they've been trying to achieve for a decade is a really, really emotional and spiritual thing to watch. It's just like something that I can't really describe if you've never seen someone finish something like that. I highly recommend that you do, because again, it's just so inspiring and like gets me so excited for my race and reminds me why I love this sport so much. So I guess what I'm trying to say, maybe this wasn't the most productive physical week, but it was a really productive mental week. I feel refreshed. I feel reassured that what I'm doing is amazing and cool and gonna be worth it. And I feel inspired by the people I met along the way. If you're interested in watching my Hardrock journey as a crew member, I will be posting a vlog at some point in the near future where you can watch me crew Tara Dower to the finish. She will also be posting a race recap, so make sure to go check that out on her channel. It's called Tara Treks. I'll post it down in the description. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who helped Tara get to the finish line. There were so many people involved. When you think of running, you often think of it as a solo sport, but it is a team effort. Y'all don't understand. Like, getting somebody to that rock, to that finish line after running 100 miles through the San Juans is not possible without a team. I just want to thank Tara. This is the third race that I've crewed for her. Her being good at racing and being an amazing ultramarathoner has allowed me to travel to such beautiful, cool places and meet such amazing people that I'm so thankful for our friendship, and I'm so thankful for how she inspires me to push myself and shows me that, you know, women are capable of doing these cool things too. She is seriously like my #1 inspiration. I love her so much. And also congratulations to her for finishing this difficult race. Congratulations to all the other 2024 Hardrockers. Y'all deserved it. Y'all are some of the most hardcore people I've ever met in my life. Like, that is such a great accomplishment, and I hope that you got all that you wanted out of that race. So now, again, I'm back in Texas. I am back to my normal training regime. I actually just did a run this morning. It will be back to our regularly scheduled program from here on out. That's what I did for week 5. It was an adventure. It was worth it. It was so much fun, and I don't regret a single moment. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video or you want to follow along for the rest of my training, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!